Hey, what's going on, everybody? Steve here, Rake and Profit over at rakeandprofit.com, coming back to you with another video. And in today's video, we are going to be scanning some books and we're going to be scanning some DVDs with the Amazon Seller app. So I'm recording my phone right now, so you'll be able to see everything that I'm scanning, how I'm analyzing it. And really, the goal of today's video is to teach you how to be able to scan books and DVDs with the Amazon Seller app. I know a lot of people are probably thinking, Steve, why are you using the Amazon Seller app instead of Scout IQ or Scoutly? Well, reason number one, not everybody has, the money for a barcode scanner or for a third-party, scanning app like Scout IQ, which could run you up to $50 a month. Scoutly, I think, what is it, like $10 or $20 a month? Some people don't want to be spending all this money when they're just getting started. They want to kind of just learn the ropes, and the Amazon Seller app is great. Like, obviously it's not as fast as having a barcode scanner that connects Bluetooth to your phone that you could just fly through all the barcodes. But keep in mind, the information or the data on the actual Amazon Seller app is the most accurate and it's the most up to date. So, third-party apps like Scout IQ and Scoutly are having to rely on Amazon's API and, a bunch of technical stuff to make sure the data is accurate. And it's not always the most accurate, right? So the Amazon Seller app is great. And if you take a look right here on the Amazon Seller app, which again, I'll put the, the video on the screen as well, you can see right here that we're here for the US market. Of course, if you're in the UK or Canada, you can switch over. You can see if your account is healthy. Here you can see all of your sales as well. So if you're wondering, like, what's my sales over the last 30 days, or how much have I sold over the last 7 days? In my business, I've sold $11,970. You could swap it from product sales to unit sales. So I've sold 119 items in the last 7 days. In the last 30 days, I've sold 597 items. In the last 12 months, I've sold just shy of 7,000 items. If I switch it to product sales, almost $700,000. So if you take a look at the months, you can see how much you sold per that month. You could see some of the different items that you sold as well. And the Amazon Seller app is really great for kind of looking at your metrics. You can also scroll down as well and you can see your sales for the day. So right now it's only 10:30 in the morning, but I've sold 4 items for $335. You can see my seller feedback of 30. I've got 50 open orders that are pending that Amazon hasn't processed through all the way. You can see how much money Amazon owes you. So Amazon owes me $6,215. And then down at the bottom, there's orders, listing, inventory. And if you click orders, it'll actually bring you into your orders. So if you click manage orders, you can see some of the items that I'm selling. So, I sell a lot of toys, electronics, tools, board games. I do a lot of eBay to Amazon flipping. But if you're brand spanking new and you're new to Amazon, I don't recommend doing what I do specifically. In the beginning, I'd wait maybe 6 to 12 months to build up your account health, your account score, sell some products, gain Amazon's trust, so you can start, doing other models like eBay to Amazon flipping. So you can see a bunch of different items that I've sold, a lot of electronics, ceiling fan, all different types of things. Here's a DVD I bought for 23, sold it for 56. So yeah, you can look at your listings, you can look at your inventory. If you hit home, it'll bring you back to the home page. And if you take a look in the top right-hand corner, there's this little square with the circle inside of it. That's the scanning app. And if you actually hit that button, it's going to open up. You can see here I am, all the books. And what it actually did is it actually scanned the cover of a book. So you have to be careful. If you go around like this, so you can see, there's my camera, all that. It's scanning. It has the technology to literally scan the cover of the item and find it just like that. Look how cool this is. Isn't that freaking awesome? It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Now, you do have to keep in mind that Amazon sellers, they can create multiple listings. So like, for example, I can create an Amazon listing for this book, and then John could create another one, Heather can create another one. So you'll see there's actually 2 different listings right here. One of them is actually restricted. So if it says restricted, you're not going to want to sell on that listing, but this is the listing that I would want to sell on right here. So you can see that this is the 7th edition. You can see the picture, you can see the used price, you can see the new price. We're going to dive deeper into how to read all this information. But all right, so we're back here at the home page. And again, if you click the camera button, you can also scan the barcode, okay? So I'm going to go back one more time. I'm going to hit that little camera button, and you could scan the barcode just like that, okay? So you can see right here, if I scan the barcode, it's going to bring up the listing just like that, you see? Now it's up to you to actually go in and interpret the data. But look at this. You see how I scanned it and the wrong thing came up? It's because if you take a look right here, this is actually, it's kind of hard to see because it keeps scanning it. This is a label from a previous Amazon seller. So this isn't the correct label, okay? This is literally not the correct label. So it's not gonna bring up the correct listing. You see how it's bringing up mismatches? So what you can do is you could actually hit the camera and you could scan the cover, okay? Just like I said, that'll probably bring up the correct listing, and it did. Another thing you can do is if you can't scan the cover for some reason, if the listing just isn't popping up, try opening up the first couple pages in the book to find the ISBN number, okay? So you can search for the ISBN number, which I actually found. So I'm gonna go back to the home page. Now, if you wanna add the ISBN number or if you wanna type in the title to search for the item, you're gonna have to go to listings down at the bottom, and then you're gonna go to add product, okay? And what you can actually do is you can type in the ISBN number or you can voice record it in. So I'm gonna look for the ISBN number, which I found on the like the second page of the book, 978-162-531-4505. All right, make sure there's no dashes. And you see how I was able to find that book as well. So that's another way that I was able to find the book. Now, if you ever see on top of the picture, it says requires approval, that means you're gonna have to try to get auto approved to sell the book. So on Amazon, some books you're gonna be able to sell, and other books, they're gonna either restrict it where it has a big red bar that says restricted, which you're not gonna be able to sell pretty much regardless of what you do. But if it ever says requires approval, where it says selling eligibility, what you're gonna wanna do is click that. It says you need approval to sell products in books category. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna click that, and then it's gonna say you need approval to sell. So you're gonna wanna click request approval. Now, one of two things are gonna happen. Either one, it's gonna say congratulations, you're approved, or two, it's gonna ask you for invoices. If it asks for invoices, that means you're not gonna be able to sell that book right now. And essentially what you're gonna have to do is just sell the books that you're allowed to sell in the beginning, because as a new seller, you're gonna be gated and restricted on a bunch of books. And over time, Amazon's gonna trust you more and they're gonna allow you to get auto and gated for more and more of these books. So I'm gonna click requires approval, and boom, there you go. It says your selling application is approved. Congratulations, your selling application for the brand has been approved based on your performance history. So you see those last couple of words? Based on your performance history. I've been selling for 12 years, so I have a pretty good history. I've got a perfectly clean account. I've got, you know, hundreds of thousands of positive transactions on Amazon. So if you're brand new, they might not approve you in the beginning, but just keep in mind, if it says requires approval, make sure that you click through and make sure it says that you're approved before you buy the book, even if it's profitable, because, you know, if it's profitable and you can't sell it and requires invoices, then you're pretty much SOL. Also, another thing I wanted to mention is you can also go ahead and you can type in the title. So, you know, here's another book right here. I like to voice record it in, so I'm gonna do that right now. The Associated Press Style Book, 56th edition. And there we go. So you'll notice there's different listings. You have to make sure that you have the correct one. The one at the top is like a forest green, and that's 2024 to 2026. And the one below it kind of looks like mine. And yeah, that's it. You see how it says 2022 out of 2024? You're probably not going to be able to see this from this distance, but that's the correct listing. So you always need to make sure that if you're manually typing things in or if you're using the picture, that you're finding the correct listing. So let's go in and let's analyze this deal. So right off the bat, we can see the title, we can see the picture, we can see the featured offer price, which I don't really care about that. I want to click through and I want to dive into, you know, more of the specifics, but you can see that there's 105 offers, new and used. There's 735 feedback, which is good. And the sales rank is 16,865. So a sales rank is essentially a snapshot in time of how fast the book is selling. So, you know, anything ranked under 100,000 is super duper fast. If it's under 500,000, it's a pretty good seller. If it's under a million, it's a decent seller. 2 million's a bit longer tail. It's probably selling maybe once a month, give or take. 3-4 million, it might take months and months to sell or never sell. Now that's just a general rule. There's plenty of exceptions, but yeah, I mean, if you're new, I would just try to stay under a couple million rank. Okay, so let's click into that. Okay, so we can see the book. So we want to confirm this is the book. which it is, okay? Now you're gonna see there's a tab for new and used, okay? You see how I'm bouncing back and forth? When it comes to selling books, don't sell them as new, okay? Just take my word, I've been doing this for 12 plus years. Publishers don't like it, Amazon doesn't like it. If you're new, they can ask for invoices, Section 3, which is pretty much a part of their terms of service where they can pretty much kick you off and suspend you unless you prove you're buying from like legitimate sources. It's funny, on the website, like on Amazon's actual site, they say you can buy from thrift stores, library sales, so on and so forth, but sometimes they'll give you a hard time if you do, okay? Now, it's very, very unlikely that it's gonna happen selling used books. The point is, just stay away from new books, okay? Because it just puts your account in jeopardy, okay, based on my experience. All right, so we're on the used tab right now, and there's a bunch of information we're seeing right here, okay? If you take a look where it says Amazon none, that means Amazon is not on this listing for used. If you see where it says 7 from 1125 FBA offers, that means there's 7 offers, 7 FBA sellers who are selling this book, and the lowest offer is 1125. So if I actually click into that, I can actually go into used and I can actually see all the offers. The thing is, when you click into it, you see how it says 611. That's a merchant seller, $2.13 plus $3.98. So you actually have to scroll all the way to FBA, which is kind of difficult on the app. But if you scroll, let's see if we can see FBA. This is all good, good, good. And then boom, there's a prime seller right there, okay? So you can actually dive into the actual details, but just know the lowest used offer is $11.25, and there's 7 of them. And if you look to the right, there's 88 merchants, okay? Starting at $6.11. If you look above that, you'll see gross proceeds to the top right-hand corner is $2.24. So if you actually click into that, this is Amazon's revenue calculator, okay? Where it'll actually break down all of the fees and all of the expenses, so on and so forth. For some reason, it put it at $13.99, which is the offer price, which doesn't make any sense. If we take a look back, the lowest offer is $11.25. So if we actually go into here, okay, and we put $11.25, okay, it'll pretty much break down the fees. And let's see what's going on here. Let's update that. Perfect. So Amazon's going to take $3.49 in Amazon fees. To ship it to FBA, they're going to take $5.52 in fees. Shipping to Amazon, usually I would say it's going to probably be about like 50 cents to $1 per pound. So you could put in 50 cents. You could put in a default setting in the future, but I'm just going to put that in right now because I don't really use this app a ton, so it didn't save it. And then cost of purchase, let's just say that we're able to buy this book for $1. Okay. All right, so it looks like our net profit, if we were to buy this item for $1, is only 70 cents, okay? So that's not very good at all, okay? So if we go back here, again, the things that you're gonna wanna be looking for is making sure you're in the actual used column, which we are. Again, that's new, this is used. You wanna pay attention if you're a merchant or FBA. I'm an FBA seller, so I'm typically looking at the lowest, overall 3 offers. Now I can see news at $11.99, so $11.25 makes sense. You wanna make sure that you're never pricing the used price over the new price, okay? So this is not a very good book. Let's go ahead and let's scan another book, okay? So here's a book called Implementing Change. Now this is a textbook by Pearson, so always make sure if you're gonna sell textbooks that you run it through the Books Run counterfeit calculator to make sure that it's unlikely of being a counterfeit. So I'm not gonna do that in this example right here, but if it ever comes up as likely or very likely, I'll never sell a textbook, okay? That's a free website, Books Run counterfeit calculator. Throw in the ISBN number and double check it. So let's scan this. All right, so you can see right off of the bat, you see how it says restricted in red? That means I can't sell this item. There's nothing that I can do. They won't even allow me to request to get ungated. So I think for me, I'm probably restricted in Pearson. You could see that, there's 9 merchants at $26.02. The lowest FBA is 65, which means I would make $48 profit. Let's click into that. Let's make sure this is correct, which it's not. You guys, the Amazon Seller app, it's pretty much free with your, with your plan. I mean, if you have a pro plan, it's $39.99 a month, but it's annoying to use. It's slow. It is accurate, but as you can see, like I'm having to go into here and I'm gonna have to change the settings. For some reason, it's not even clicking right now. So let me like it's just a little kind of janky. So for some reason, it's not saving my selling price. So I'm going to put that in at $65. And again, look, it's just slow to update. So you can see all the fees and breakdown. If I wasn't restricted and I bought this for $1, let's see, where do I put in my buy cost? Cost of purchase right here. Let's just say I paid $5 for this item, okay? It would break down all my fees and I would make $43.45. But unfortunately, I can't sell this item because I'm restricted, okay? So I'm gonna pass on this item. Let's go ahead and let's scan some DVDs, okay? So let's take a look here. Learning to drive. So $2.99 I got this item for. Let's see if this item is profitable. So I do see it says requires approval. So let's make sure that I can sell this item here. Sometimes it'll say it and you don't even have to request approval. You see how it's not showing it like over the picture. This is selling for $11.98. Okay, so if I sell this item, it says I can make $5.32, but for some reason I've already noticed that this isn't very accurate. Okay, so it did say $11.98. Let's put in my buy price of $2.99. This was actually a DVD that I had sitting around for a while. So let's see if this thing eroded in profit, which it did. This will make $2.32 profit right here. So not that great. 19% net margin. So I mean, that's decent right here. Let's scan another one. All right, outer limits. Let's go ahead and scan this right here. Now, keep in mind, this is new. This is brand new sealed, okay? So we can see the rank 184,000. That's really, really high with DVDs. This probably sells once every couple of months or so, but there's only one seller on the listing. And since this is new, again, I'm not looking at used. I'm looking at new. What I do like about this is the merchants. There's only two at $61.68, and there's one FBA at $68.40. So I'm pretty confident I would probably be able to get that price at $68.40. So what I'm gonna do is click 5219 gross proceeds, and I'm gonna put in my buy cost here. So I got this item for $3.99. I'm gonna sell it for $68.40. So let's go ahead and add in $3.99. Okay, I could add in shipping to Amazon cost, but that's probably only like 50 cents. And I can see that my profit right there says $48.18. Okay, $48.18. So the good thing is, you know, if you're using like SellerAmp, for example, which is a really good app to scan like new products, it doesn't work for used. Or if you're using ScoutIQ and Scoutly, it just makes scanning products and analyzing deals and your profit and your buy cost that much easier. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's scan another product here and let's analyze it. Let's take a look at this book right here, Culturally Responsive Teaching the Brain. Okay, now, of course, before you ever buy a book, even if it's profitable, check the condition. Right? Check Books Run Counterfeit Calculator if it is a textbook. But let's go ahead and let's scan the cover of this. And again, this is another restricted book. So this is a book that I would just pass on straight up just because it's restricted. I cannot sell this in new condition. I do see that there's 7 FBA at $14.95. So if I sold it for $14.95 and got it for free, I'd make $7.26. So if I paid $2, I would make about $5 profit. I like how the merchants are pretty close. $10.97 is pretty close to $14.95. I really don't like buying books where there's a massive prime gap, but again, I'm restricted on this product, so I'm gonna skip that. Let's go ahead and scan another one. Business practice and legal. Okay, so this is a pretty interesting item right here. I can see that the rank is 60,000 in books, so anything under 100,000, really good. Now, of course, this is a textbook, and I'm pretty confident this is going to be coming up as counterfeit, possibly on Books Run Counterfeit Calculator, but let's just assume that it doesn't. These were actually some books that I put aside because I did a whole like bulk book deal, and some of them came up as likely to be counterfeit, so I think this was one of them, but let's pretend it's good to go. Now, I could sell this right now for $145. No, I can't. Why? Because I'm on new. You got to make sure to go to used. So you can see used, 25 sellers at $76.28. Those are merchant sellers, and then 11 at $90.28. So there is a gap there between 76 to 90, and you might be thinking like, how can you sell it for so much more FBA? It's because customers want to buy from Amazon. They want free shipping, 2-day shipping, hassle-free returns. They think they're getting it from Amazon. They are getting it from Amazon, but third-party sellers like you and I are providing it for Amazon to distribute through the FBA program, okay? So you can typically win the buy box more often. You can sell it for a good bump. And from 76 to 90 isn't like outrageous. You know, it's only like 15% prime jump approximately. So that looks good. The rank under 100,000, that looks good. The picture on this matches up with this, so that's good. 363 reviews, selling eligibility, you can sell this product. So this is a great item. If I click gross proceeds, I can make $69. Let's just say that I purchased this item from eBay, right, for $30 because I do a lot of eBay to Amazon flipping. I use a tool called Replin Catcher that actually helps me to find books and DVDs on eBay that I could flip on Amazon. Definitely not beginner friendly if you're within your first 3 months, but if you've been selling on Amazon for 6 to 12 months, look into Replin Catcher. But let's just say that we paid $30 for this item, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in here, which again, this is kind of slow. That's one of the downsides to using the Amazon Seller app. So then you gotta click this to get it to somehow process. Oh, and look, it thinks I'm gonna sell it for $145. No, I'm not gonna sell it for $145. I'm gonna sell this for $89.99. Okay, so let's get that to update. Come on, Amazon Seller app. There we go. So if I sell it for $89.99, Amazon's gonna take $15 in fees, $5.87 for fulfillment, a little bit of a storage cost. And look, I put $30 in shipping by accident. Let's just say shipping is 50 cents. And let's say the cost of goods is 30. So I put that in the wrong place. There we go. So let's update this now. Okay. Come on, Amazon. I think that's correct now. I think it updated $38.27. That makes sense if I paid $30. So that would be a pretty good flip right there with a 42% net margin. So that was a pretty interesting item. Let's take a look at this item right here as I almost smashed my light out. Let's try to scan the cover of this. Let's see if that works. Okay, differential equations. Another item that I'm gated on right here. So I'm restricted on this, so I won't be able to sell that. This is freaking good though. Man, this might be a good book to put on eBay. 758,000 ranked, that's solid. 12 merchants at $89.98, 2 at $94.16. Man, this would have definitely been a freaking awesome book. There's no writing in here either. Darn it, I'm restricted though. But yeah, if it has the red, as you can see up there, then you're not gonna be able to sell it. Sometimes you could look for other listings, but I don't see any with a rank, so that's not an item I'd be able to sell. All right, let's take a look at this book right here. Oh, there was the wrong label on that, so it's not gonna, oh, it must have scanned the cover. Okay, perfect. So when you see multiple of the same book coming up, how do you know which book to choose? You wanna pick the one with the lowest rank within the category that's correct. So you can see right here, this is the first one. It's 299,000 rank in paperback. If it was a hardcover, you'd have to be under the hardcover listing. The one below it's an ebook, plus it's restricted, and then the other ones are restricted or different versions. So what I would do is I would click this book, and I paid $2.99 for this. I can see the rank is about 300,000, 34 reviews. You want to double check, make sure the title and the actual book match up, the picture matches up, which is good. 9 merchants at 38 and then 2 at 38 FBA. So you might even be able to sell this for more. I'll make $24.45 if I get this for free, but if I click into that, I am going to go in and put my purchase cost of $2.99. Shipping, you know, I'll put in 50 cents. There's probably a way to save this as a default, but I just don't use the Amazon Seller app a ton. So my profit would be $24.41, $24.41, which doesn't really make sense because did I not put in my buy cost? I must not have put that in. So let me put in my buy cost. All right, and then you're like, I'm like hitting the screen because I'm trying to get the Amazon Seller app to process it. Do I have to hit save? That didn't do anything. It's saying the total price is $42.13. I wanted to sell this for $38. So again, that's another thing you have to look out for. It keeps pricing it at the actual item price, which is annoying. So I'm gonna go in and let's just say I'm gonna sell this for $37.99. So these are some things to kind of look out for. And then it's gonna break it down. I mean, I would take out another 50 cents for shipping. So I mean, I'd make about $21 on this item. So definitely not bad. That was a good pickup. Let's go back home. And oh, I've got 5 sales so far for today for 452. Let's see what I sold. I sold, oh, I already showed you that one. That was a hair curler. I paid 58 on eBay, sold it for 116. Cool. So let's scan another book. Let's just say that we paid $1 for this, which I did. There's a sticker on it for $1. Sales rank is 25,000. Phenomenal. 1,000 reviews. That's great. New, Amazon's on the listing for 14, and the lowest new is $13.69. Not that that matters too much to me, but I'm just paying attention to that in terms of used. So used is at $12.75. There's 56 at $8.36, and there's 9 at $12.75. That is a big jump, but since the rank is so fast selling at 25,000, books like this are probably selling all day long at $12.75. So let's click gross proceeds. And again, I don't know why Amazon's saying the total price. They made some changes to their app, and it's really annoying now. So let's just say I'm going to sell this for $12.25. Thank you, Amazon, for updating. And let's just say that I purchased this for $1, which I did a while back. And let's say shipping to Amazon, I'm just going to put 50 cents, even though it's probably cheaper if you send in a bunch of books. The profit would be, are you going to update Amazon? Do you guys see how annoying this is to have to put in these metrics every time? I'm going to make a video in the future about Scout IQ and Scoutly and how much faster it is, but it looks like I'd make about $3 profit on this. So for me, I want to make at least $5, $6 profit. So I would most likely pass on this item. All right, let's scan a couple more DVDs. We got Civil War right here. Okay, so I can sell this product. It's selling for $20.84. FBA, there's 28 merchants at $16.58. That's fine. Good rank at 12,000. Usually for DVDs, I'm looking under 100,000. 30 to 100,000 is my sweet spot right there. So let's click gross proceeds and see what it wants me to sell it at. So it's putting total price at $1. I don't know why you're doing that, Amazon. I want to sell this for $20.84. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here at $20.84. Okay, there we go. And let's just say that my buy cost was $2.99 at Savers. I'll just put $3. There we go. So that's a $9.75 profit on this item. Okay, let's do one more. We got Lewis and Clark. Let's see what this is selling for. Requires approval. I might be restricted in this. Oh, nope, I can sell it. $11.58. Okay, I can see 24 merchants at $11.50, FBA's at $11.58, so I'd price it at $11.58 and match the lowest price. Let's click gross proceeds. Again, it's putting the item price at $12.58, which is silly. I wonder if there's a way, I bet you there's some setting that would maybe not make Amazon do this. Again, I don't use Amazon Seller App all the time. I just use it to kind of verify things, or if I don't feel like setting up my barcode scanner. So I'm gonna put this in at, let's just say $11.50, and let's just say I paid $1 for this, okay? Because it's probably not going to be very profitable if I do anything more than that. And we'll say to ship it to Amazon, we'll say it's 25 cents for this one. I don't know if it's updating my net profit because Amazon, everything Amazon touches, they just mess it up. That's why, like, use Scout IQ or Scoutly, or if you're doing new product Seller Amp. If you're going to list, don't list your products on Amazon Seller Central. It's slow, it's clunky. Get yourself go-to lister. You could see like how slow, and they make, it's like they make things for like robots or AI. Like make it for a human, make it intuitive. I'm trying to keep my cool here in this video, but it's just annoying the things they do. Like they used to have such a good revenue calculator, and then they changed it, like I think a year ago, and it sucks now. But hopefully this video helps, guys, and you can kind of see how to scan products, how the Amazon Seller App works, how you can scan the cover, you can type in titles, ISBN, how you can see new versus used, how you can calculate your profits the slow and grueling way. But again, if you're on a budget and you don't want to spend 20, 40, 50 bucks a month on, you know, apps like Seller Amp or Scout IQ, so on and so forth. If you're doing books, I'd recommend Scoutly. It's the cheapest, it's the best right now. Scout IQ, I used to recommend it all the time, but they sold up to another company, and the company is just pretty much running the business into the ground, just based on what I've heard and complaints. Seller Amp's the best if you're going after new products or you're doing like online arbitrage. But yeah, hopefully this video helped. If it did, smash that like button. If you want any more help with selling on Amazon, getting started, check out Reselling Freedom down below. That's my coaching program. It's about $1 per day. It's me with about 8 or 9 other coaches. We do 3 to 5 live coaching calls every week on Zoom. You could come in, you could ask questions. We have workshops, we have a course, we have ebooks, we have guides, we have a community. So if you are looking to get started and want to be able to have a community to bounce questions off of or join coaching calls, definitely check out Reselling Freedom down below. But with that being said, guys, appreciate you all. Much love and happy hunting. Talk to you in the next one. Bye.